Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в ислама-карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов. Например, буду готовить Ислама против Ilia или Мадалены. Для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Мадалена.
Khabib Nurmagomedov has just said Jack Della Maddalena would be a tougher test for Islam Makhachev than Ilia Topuria. However, Max Holloway believes fans are underestimating Jack. He reminded everyone that JDM is ranked number 2 pound for pound for a reason and warned not to sleep on him. Max expects the fight to happen in October and said it'll be tough, smart, and exciting.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is gonna find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So I mean, he is he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason. So you gotta respect that, but. Don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Moreover, Joaquin Buckley mentioned that Islam is trying to move up to 170, but JDM just survived a brutal 5-round war with Belal Muhammad. He's unsure if Jack will make it to that fight, but said Jack showed Canelo-level boxing in that performance.
You talk to your brother Islam, you know what I'm saying? He trying to make them big moves up to 170. They trying to make that fight happen with him and JDM, but JDM just went through a whole 5-round war. I don't think my man gonna make it to that fight. For real. He made Belal look like he really had Canelo hands. That's crazy.
However, Khabib Nurmagomedov said Jack Della Maddalena would be the toughest opponent of Islam Makhachev's career. He thinks JDM is bigger, has strong grappling, and is just as skilled as Ilia Topuria. If he had to coach Islam for either fight, he'd be more concerned about facing Jack.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в ислама-карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Ilia, если бы это бой был бы.
Мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Ilia.
Сопоставим.
Ilia. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Для меня, если я буду готовить Ислама против Ilia или Мадалены, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Madalena.
Moreover, Gilbert Burns said Jack is one of the hardest punchers he's faced, more powerful than Usman or Chimaev. A simple jab from Jack felt surprisingly strong. Even when he wrestled and controlled Jack still landed a clean knee. Burns warned everyone to respect Jack's power.
JDM is one of the guys that I fought that hits the hardest. And I fought Woodley, I fought Kamara, I fought Hamza. That guy gave me a little jab and then wow, my God.
JDM and Belal Muhammad, you've been in there with both of them.
I was able to wrestle him, kind of control him a little bit. At the end, the guy did his thing. I ate a beautiful knee. You can feel it was not a stiff jab, it was just like pick and then poof. Wow, that guy hits hard. You gotta watch out with that.
Craig Jones called Jack the best scrambler in MMA. He thinks the size difference will favor Jack and pointed out how Islam struggled on the ground against Volkanovski. Craig believes Jack will give Islam a harder time and questions whether Islam would even return to fight Ilia if he loses.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes? I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously, he's faced Volk twice. The first one, very competitive. And now he's facing a guy that's best scrambling ability, period, in all of MMA. I think that's what Belal struggled with. So I think the size difference is going to be quite a lot than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. Jack beats Islam, puts Islam in a difficult position. Does he now go back down to fight Ilia after he loses?
Alexander Volkanovski believes Jack's performance against Belal was the ideal preparation for Islam. He said defending takedowns from Belal boosted Jack's confidence and proved that even elite grapplers will struggle to control him.
Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Jack Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up?
I think Jack's fight against Belal was a perfect fight for leading into that. Just purely, you take a lot out of stop and takedowns, because again, there's every fighter's still going to have little doubts that are going to creep in. I'm sure Jack was going through that, being like, all right, worrying about, what if he takes me down and all that. But the fact that he was able to stop it and feel so comfortable, I guarantee you he's leveled up again. His confidence in his takedowns has just went up significantly leading into this fight. I think his confidence is going to be at a whole nother level. So through camp, I guarantee you, if he's back in training right now, people trying to take him down are going to find it almost impossible. Only the top guys are going to have a chance of taking him down, and they're going to have a very hard time even holding him down.
Jorge Masvidal gave Islam the edge. He praised Jack's hands and defense, but said Islam's grappling is on a different level. Jorge expects Jack to start strong, but Islam's pressure and wrestling will take over later.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is, though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA, but Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops a dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. Islam's level of wrestling is above. The stand-up game is improving. I don't think he can go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
Ilia Topuria said he's not interested in that matchup right now, but offered advice for Jack. He suggested Jack target Islam's body with straight punches to slow him down and stop the takedown. Ilia praised Jack's striking and said that approach gives him a real shot.
How do you think Islam Makhachev will do at 170 when he fights Jack Della Maddalena?
I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. I had never thought about that, so I don't know.
Have any advice for Jack, who might be coming up against Islam Makhachev now?
The advice, like, he has to work the straight body shots, because that takes away the intentions of the takedown. If he works with the straight body shots, he's gonna stop his intentions of the takedowns. And he's doing a great job at striking. I like how he fights.
Philip Rowe picked Jack to beat Islam. He believes Islam isn't big enough for top welterweights and said Jack's power and ability to get up after takedowns will be too much. Rowe thinks Jack will stop Islam before it goes the distance.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chillin'.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight. You've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in the fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop at Islam.
Dustin Poirier said the early rounds will be key. If Islam gets Jack down quickly, he could control the fight. But if Jack avoids takedowns, Dustin believes his boxing and physical strength could cause serious problems. He added that Islam's striking is awkward but effective because opponents fear the takedown.
Do you think he beats Jack Della Maddalena?
I think we'll find out first, second round how much trouble he has getting him down. I think if he gets those takedowns, he's going to get the win. If Jack can stop those takedowns, which he does have good takedown defense, I think the boxing and the size could wear on Islam and give him some problems. But his striking's, awkward and different. You have to worry so much about the takedown. You can't plant your feet and throw off those number combinations and really rip and sit on your punches because he's going to change levels. So it changes the way you fight. Well, for me, it did. I'm speaking from experience. So we'll see how Jack approaches and how Jack executes out there. But if you're worried about takedowns, your shots are different. You're not sitting on everything and standing in front of the guy. You're trying to move and be light on your feet. I think the first 2 rounds will tell us how this fight's going to go.
Charles Oliveira praised Jack's patience and ability to break down opponents, like he did with Bilal. He believes Islam will still be effective at welterweight using his grappling. For Oliveira, the fight hinges on whether Jack can keep it standing or if Islam controls him on the mat.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é jogo muito complicado, porque ele é cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é jogo que, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
Robert Whitaker said it's hard to judge how Islam will adapt to welterweight. He pointed out the physical and tactical challenges of moving up, but still trusts Islam's skills. Whitaker believes Islam can do everything Bilal did, just better.
Definitely, but like I said, it is hard to try to get an accurate gauge on what it's going to look like, not knowing how Islam is going to look when he moves up. Okay, it's always the question everybody asks when anybody is moving up a weight division or down a weight division. Okay, there's so many unknowns involved. But saying that, I think that Islam can do everything that Bilal does, but way better. Okay, way better.